Love Bombing and Devaluation. It started like a fairy tale. You never felt so seen, so adored, so completely understood. They told you everything you'd ever wanted to hear. It felt like destiny. And then, suddenly, it wasn't. The adoration turned to criticism. The constant contact turned to cold silence. You were left feeling confused, desperate, and wondering what you did wrong to ruin the most perfect relationship you'd ever had. You didn't ruin it. You were simply at the end of Act 1. Hello, and welcome. Before we continue, a vital disclaimer. This video is an educational resource. It is not a tool for diagnosis. If you feel you are in danger or in an abusive situation, please reach out to professional support services. The dizzying roller coaster of a relationship that goes from perfect to painful in the blink of an eye is one of the most confusing and damaging experiences a person can have. It's not random. It is often a deliberate, two-step cycle of manipulation used by emotional predators, particularly those with high narcissistic traits. Today, we are exposing that cycle. This is love bombing and devaluation, the two-step cycle of an emotional predator. We will dissect both phases of this toxic dance, understand the psychological hooks that keep you trapped, and give you the clarity to see the cycle for what it is. Not a passionate romance, but a calculated strategy of control. The core analysis. Point 1. The love bombing phase, the overdose of idealization. The cycle always begins with an intoxicating, overwhelming flood of affection. This is not just a crush, it is a full-scale psychological campaign. This is the love bombing phase. Love bombing is the practice of showering a new partner with excessive attention, admiration, and affection right at the start of a relationship. It's characterized by its speed and intensity. Constant texts and calls, extravagant praise, expensive gifts, and extremely premature talk of the future. Soulmates, forever, I've never felt this way before. All within the first few weeks. The goal is to make you feel completely adored and to create a powerful dependency from day one. Imagine you meet someone new. Within 48 hours, they are texting you good morning and good night. They tell you you are the most brilliant, beautiful, and interesting person they have ever known. By the end of the first week, they are talking about a vacation you should take together in 6 months. They mirror all your interests perfectly. They want to know everything about your past wounds and insecurities, positioning themselves as the one person who finally gets you. You don't feel like you're just falling in love, you feel like you've been rescued. It's a euphoric, addictive high. This is not genuine affection, it's a meticulously crafted illusion. The love bomber is not in love with you. They are in love with the ideal of a perfect, adoring partner who will serve as their source of narcissistic supply. They are idealizing you, placing you on a pedestal. By creating this intense, fairy tale-like connection so quickly, they are fast-tracking intimacy and forging a powerful bond of dependency. They are essentially getting you addicted to their validation before you've had a chance to see who they really are. A healthy relationship develops at a natural, steady pace. The excitement is real, but it's grounded. Compliments are genuine, but not extravagant. Conversations about the future are tentative and appropriate for the stage of the relationship. A healthy person wants to get to know the real you, flaws and all. The love bomber is not interested in the real you. They are creating a fantasy and casting you as the lead. Healthy connection feels like a warm, growing fire. Love bombing feels like a sudden, dazzling, and unsustainable fireworks display. It is critical to distinguish love bombing from new relationship energy, NRE. It's normal to be excited and text a lot at the beginning of a new romance. The key differences are speed and idealization. Is the person falling in love with you or with a perfect version of you they've just invented? Are they respecting your pace and boundaries, or are they overwhelming you? NRE feels exciting. Love bombing often feels exciting, but also a little overwhelming. Trust that too good to be true feeling. The consequence of the love bombing phase is that it establishes a dizzyingly high baseline. It creates a powerful craving for the initial state of perfection. The predator knows that once you've experienced this level of idealization, you will do almost anything to get it back when they inevitably take it away. Point 2. The devaluation phase, the cruel withdrawal of affection. Once the predator feels you are hooked, that you are sufficiently addicted to their praise and attention, the cycle flips. The mask comes off and the second act begins. This is the devaluation phase. Devaluation is the systematic withdrawal of the affection, admiration, and attention that were so freely given during the love bombing stage. It is a slow and steady erosion of your self-worth. The compliments are replaced with criticism. The constant contact is replaced with cold silence. And the person who once put you on a pedestal now makes you feel like you are perpetually failing them. The same person who once called you brilliant now makes subtle jabs at your intelligence. The outfits they used to call stunning are now a little much. The constant "I miss you" texts are replaced by hours of unexplained silence, leaving you anxious and confused. When you try to address the change, they say, "You're being too needy," or "I'm just busy. Why are you so insecure?" They start comparing you unfavorably to others. You find yourself constantly apologizing, trying to be perfect again, desperate to win back the adoring person you first met. The devaluation phase begins when the predator's idealization of you shatters. You have inevitably revealed yourself to be a normal, flawed human being, and this is a narcissistic injury to them. They resent you for not living up to the fantasy they created, so they begin to punish you for it. The withdrawal of affection, the criticism, the silent treatment. These are all tactics designed to destabilize you and regain a sense of power and control. By making you feel worthless, they re-establish their own perceived superiority. In a healthy relationship, the initial honeymoon phase will naturally fade, but it's replaced by a deep, stable, and secure attachment. Conflicts are handled with communication and respect. A healthy partner will have concerns, but they will address them constructively. They don't suddenly start chipping away at your self-esteem as a form of control. Healthy relationships mature, they don't devalue. Do all couples go through rough patches? Do people sometimes get moody or critical when stressed? Yes. The difference is the deliberate and cyclical nature of devaluation. Is it a temporary rough patch followed by repair, or is it a consistent pattern of tearing you down, especially after periods of intense closeness? Is the criticism constructive, or is it designed to make you feel small? In a devaluation cycle, the goalposts are always moving. You can never do enough to please them. The long-term consequence of devaluation is the complete destruction of your self-worth. You begin to believe their criticisms are valid. You become filled with anxiety, self-doubt, and a feeling that you are fundamentally unlovable. You lose trust in your own judgment and become trapped. Have you ever experienced this sudden flip from adoration to criticism? If you're comfortable, share a yes in the comments. You are not alone in this experience. Point 3. The addictive cycle. Why you stay hooked on the high. This brings us to the most painful question. If it's so bad, why is it so hard to leave? The answer lies in a powerful psychological principle that keeps you chained to the roller coaster. This is the addictive cycle. The cycle of love bombing and devaluation creates a powerful, trauma-based bond through a process called intermittent reinforcement. This is the same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. You're not rewarded every time, but you're rewarded just often enough and just unpredictably enough to keep you pulling the lever. The abuser will give you just enough crumbs of the old love bombing to keep you hooked and full of hope. You have been in the devaluation phase for weeks. You feel worthless and are on the verge of leaving. You finally stand up for yourself. Suddenly, the predator senses they might lose their supply. The switch flips back. For a day or two, the old, wonderful person returns. They shower you with affection, they apologize profusely, they tell you how much they love you. You are flooded with relief. The high is immense. You think, finally, they're back. Things will be good again. But they are not back. You have just been given a small win to keep you in the game. Once they feel you are secure again, the devaluation will inevitably begin anew. Intermittent reinforcement is the most powerful motivator for learned behavior. When a reward is unpredictable, the brain releases more dopamine in anticipation of it than it does for a predictable reward. You become addicted not just to the love bombing itself, but to the hope of it. This creates a state of cognitive dissonance, where you cling to the memory of the good times to rationalize the pain of the bad times. You are bonded not to the real person, but to the potential of the person you first met, a person who never truly existed. A healthy, stable relationship is built on consistent reinforcement. The affection is reliable, the respect is constant. It's not a roller coaster, it's a steady, upward climb. It doesn't provide the same manic highs as the abusive cycle, but it also doesn't provide the devastating lows. It provides peace, security, and genuine intimacy, which are far more valuable. Can a normal couple have a big fight and then have a period of intense, loving make-up affection? Yes. The difference is that in a healthy dynamic, both partners are working to avoid the fight next time. They are trying to break the cycle. In an abusive dynamic, the predator needs the cycle. The make-up, love-bombing phase is not a resolution, it is a calculated tactic to reset the cycle of abuse. The long-term consequence of staying in this cycle is often CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Your nervous system becomes completely dysregulated. You live in a constant fight or flight. Your ability to trust is shattered, and your brain becomes addicted to a cycle of abuse that you mistake for passionate love. So, let's put it all together. The emotional predator lures you in with an overwhelming love bomb of idealization. Once you're hooked, they begin the cruel process of devaluation to control you and break down your self-worth. And they keep you trapped by using an addictive cycle of intermittent reinforcement, giving you just enough crumbs of affection to keep you hoping for the return of the fairy tale. The deep why behind understanding this is that you cannot win a rigged game. You must see the cycle for the deliberate, manipulative strategy that it is. The person you fell in love with during the love bombing phase was a mask, a character created to ensnare you. The goal is to stop trying to win back that illusion and to start the process of freeing yourself from the game entirely. So, how do you begin to break free? First, name the cycle. The first step is what you are doing right now. You are giving a name to the chaos. Say it out loud to yourself. This is not a passionate, complicated romance. This is a cycle of love bombing and devaluation. This is emotional abuse. Naming it takes away its mysterious power over you and frames it as a recognizable, predictable pattern. Second, stop blaming yourself. You must understand this. The devaluation was always going to happen. It is not your fault. There is nothing you could have done to be perfect enough to prevent it. The cycle is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of the abuser's pathology. You did not cause it, you cannot control it, and you cannot cure it. Your only power is your choice to walk away. Third, go no contact and seek support. This cycle is an addiction, and the only way to break an addiction is to remove the substance. This means implementing a strict no-contact rule whenever possible. Block them on all platforms. If you have children or other ties, seek professional guidance on how to maintain low-contact or gray rock boundaries. Most importantly, reach out for help. Talk to a therapist who specializes in narcissistic abuse. Reconnect with the friends and family the abuser may have isolated you from. You cannot do this alone. The fairy tale was a trap. The person you miss was never real. The most loving, courageous, and powerful thing you can do now is to choose the quiet, steady truth of your own reality over the beautiful, chaotic lie they were selling you. You deserve a love that is consistent, not a love that is conditional. You deserve peace, not a roller coaster. You deserve to be valued, not devalued. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your eyes, please share it. It could be the first step on someone's journey back to themselves.